Hello, this is Konrad speaking. In today's video, we're gonna go through how to become a freelance copywriter and what do you need to know before you get into this. But before we do that, we first gonna have some sip of mate, because life day without mate is just a bad day. So the first thing you need to know, in my opinion, is that you don't need to be a native speaker, but you have to be native, like fluent, in order to be a copywriter. And I can tell you in my example, so I'm Polish, I'm not at all native speaker. My original language is Polish, and I started learning English, when I was in a primary school. But the difference between me and maybe some person who is from, let's say Russia, also Poland, and says they know English, is that I spent a lot of time and energy throughout my life on learning English, like super damn well. Like I had private lessons for many years. I started traveling. I started, watching movies in English. I started reading everything in English. I started watching everything on YouTube in English. I started writing in English. I started then thinking in English. And at this point in my life, it's easier for me to record this video in English than in Polish. And that's why I am able to basically be a copywriter. But if I was, so what I'm trying to say is that you don't need to be a native speaker. And in my opinion, all the people that say, that prefer native speakers as copywriters, I would say they're wrong for the most part, because this is, I would not look at anyone depending if they're a native speaker or not, but because there's a lot of native speakers actually who know really bad English, like they don't know grammar, they don't know tenses, they don't know, they don't have much vocabulary. It's just actually there's a lot of them. So I would say native or not, but you have to be able to basically think in that language, and that requires a lot of years of practice, of experience, of listening, to be able to create certain phrases, to not just translate your native language to English, but to actually think in English. And I would say that's a really big one, because in copywriting, it's all about getting the psychology and talking like a common person. And the only way you can do that is if you have a lot of familiarity. So that's, I would say, the number one thing. The next one is that you should start with theory. So you should start with books, courses, videos, whatever. But you should quickly get into practice. So how I did it is basically for the first, couple months, I went into, I bought books, I downloaded courses, I started watching videos. I did some, handwriting letters or whatever, but I quickly went on Upwork and I started finding initial projects to basically get to understand how it is to actually write something. Because in my opinion, if you need fundamentals to really start writing, and you don't want to also charge money before you actually know anything. But at the same time, in my opinion, if you don't get the real practice, you'll never know what it actually takes to write, because you will encounter so-called writer's block. You'll be like, blank paper. And you'll have to know how to break through that, how to find inspiration, how to research. And the way only you do that is when you have an actual project, you have a deadline, you have a client who gives you a brief, and then the shit gets real, Before that, it's all just kind of a fluff. I mean, it's necessary, but don't start with theory, but don't wait too long before you get your practice, even if it's just even for free, but it's an actual project. The next one, you have to be really honest with yourself. And what I mean by that is you have to, when you get a few projects, you complete, a bunch of them, at least 10 or so, you have to really, stare naked in yourself in a mirror at your work, and you have to assess. And if you're unable to do it, get somebody else to do it. You have to be able to figure out where are your strengths and weaknesses, because each of us, none of us is going to be really amazing at everything in copywriting, and that's also, in life is the same. So you have to figure out in what aspects of copywriting, what types of copywriting are you best, and then I would say just double down on those. because copywriting as we speak right now, and that's actually my next point, is already very competitive. Like, it's not something like, hey, it's like this new thing, there's no copywriters. There's actually a lot of people trying to get in, for the simple reason that everyone who is especially a native speaker, they think they can be a copywriter because, well, it's just writing, so I can write anything. But that's why like 95% of them are bad. So know that it's gonna be competitive. It's not gonna be easy. So the way you fight against that is you focus on some type of copywriting that comes easier to you. For me, for example, it's like some kind of a like unique copywriting. I did a lot of cold email and also some landing pages. But I'm specifically good when someone wants to differentiate themselves and they want like a unique, very like direct personal voice rather than corporate. So this is, for example, where I'm really good at, and I have to look at that. Okay, so this is what I have to focus on, because I'm not gonna be that good even if I spend a lot of time in, like, let's say, writing some copy for software products, because I don't feel it. I don't have the feeling for it. It's a lot based on stats and things like that, and I'm just better at like just being very personal, just like one-on-one speaking. So that's what I figured, and you have to figure that for yourself. One big thing I would say is that also, actually that's gonna be my last point for today, is that you have to eliminate all the ego about your writing. And what I mean by that is basically, you gotta be able to take criticism. You gotta find mentors or people who assess your writing and tell you straight up, and you have to be able to take that and not get butthurt about it. Like, oh, my writing is good, what is he saying? You have to be really able for a long time to be able to take criticism and just take it as a learning experience, because it's very easy, in my opinion, to get super like egoistical about your writing, because it's like something very, I don't know, like your art. So how come someone can not like it? But just the truth is, it might just suck. So that's and you have to find people who are gonna tell you the truth. That's why I would say, just after you get some projects and you assess your strengths and weaknesses, it's important that you find someone that's above you, that's gonna criticize your work, and then you're gonna have to be able to, again, come down from your high pedestal and be able to take that criticism and improve upon it. And that's how you're gonna grow, and that's how you're gonna become that premium copywriter. Because that's your goal. You don't want to be competing on the lower prices. So today, that's it for today. Basically, this was a video how to become a freelance copywriter, and just some most important things you need to know before you start doing it. I hope that this was valuable. If it was, just please like, subscribe, comment. Also, there is a new group which I'm gonna link below the video, where we basically help freelancers convert to entrepreneurs. And we're gonna be doing some lives. We're gonna be doing some answering questions. So please join if you are interested in that, if you are on that journey and you are interested in moving even higher. So let Yerba be with you, and enjoy the rest of your day. See ya.